You can say all you want, like it's an act of cowardice to back down. Sometimes it's an act of honor. Sometimes it's an act of honoring the people that you represent. Look at me. You might not think I could have done anything, but that poor guy, he stole my idea, one that I stole from Ross Perot. Let's shake it up a bit. I was born 11/27/69. And in a government class in about 2003, which I've avoided these government classes because I try not to be too angry about things that don't mean anything at all to me. I asked, if I'm 34 at the time of the elections, by the time the inauguration takes place, I'm 35, am I still old enough to be president? And he had a tweak in his mind. I made a fucking government teacher look deep into something that he doesn't think about too often. And he said, yes, you could be president. And so I planned to run to president just to stir shit up a bit. But it happened to be later that year I was in China. I was gone in too long to come back and start. Oh, you don't think I could be president? I clean up nice. I was coming back and I was going to be president. And why was I going to run for president? To stir shit up. You see how easy it is? Look at the American people and their football teams. Everybody believes something they want, they're going to get. And they like setting records. Look at the Cubs a few years back, broke the curse, and they won the World Series. Oh, nobody cares about them anymore, but they had their time. All anybody wanted to see them do was win, because they're the underdog. What's the underdog? The underdog is us. We look at something and say, if the underdog can win, then we ourselves have a chance. They don't realize that the underdog competition is rigged. It always is. They gotta keep us wanting something so that we feel like we are something. So I was planning to run for president, but I didn't have time once I got back from China and studying their ways. I look good on paper. By that point, I'd seen that Barack Obama guy who I'd seen showing up at the 2001 thing when those planes hit those fucking buildings. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? He's going to be president one day. I said, this is all part of the plan. And next thing you know, he was president. It's part of the plan. But when I saw him coming up and I didn't have time to plan to be president, I mean, the pay is good. Anybody who complains about the pay has already got too much money to understand what suffering is about. $400,000 a year, I think it was at that time. I'm like, that's pretty good pay. But I didn't get back in time. And I saw a black man running for president. And I said, you go with it, man. I just stepped back. And so there it was. I was going to be the youngest president ever. People love setting records. They were going to make me president because I was only 34. I even had dreams of being president-elect. I was walking down the street, hey, president-elect. I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'm just walking down the street waving at people. It was destiny. I could have done this. As it turns out, Ross Perot lost, who would have been a good leader. Evidently, he knows how to run a business. As far as I know, D-Day worked for Ross Perot, and he said he was a great fucking leader, if I got it right. But then you get this guy, that poor guy. He wanted to shake things up again. I guess if I had done it in the first place, nobody would have ever voted for that poor guy, saying we need to shake things up a bit, because they would have seen what I did. Only I wouldn't have tried to vote or turn the government. I would have just been with hookers and whores. Well, I don't know what you do if you're president and you're not in line with the way the presidency is supposed to work. That guy does. He fucked things up so bad that people finally quit agreeing with him. Sometimes you have to allow the government to be the government. Sometimes you have to accept, like he wouldn't, like I did. I don't know enough about it to make it work. He got in without knowing anything about it, and let's just say it, he tore it all apart. So at one point, I missed a chance to set a record. Let's not forget, at some point, I might just set the record straight.